Back to how amazing your ocean and your coastline is. Apart from me having to pinch myself, is the excitement of the unexplored that is the Saudi Red Sea.
Welcome to the Mo Show podcast. Before we get started, I'd like to take a minute to thank one of our newest sponsors. This is a company that I'm a very big fan of. You'll find some really cool stuff, just unique pieces on their website and app that's super user-friendly, which is great for me because I can't tolerate apps that aren't. So Dokkan is kind of like an Etsy, for those familiar with Etsy. I love the fact that there's Saudi startup. Would love to see more and more startups going forward. That's something that really excites me. Their CEO, Ammar Waghana, was on episode 8, which was an incredible episode because he discussed what it was like entering the entrepreneurial world, what it was like for him entering the startup, and the challenges and the success that he's seen since founding and running Dokkan Afkar. I'll tell you what, I'll add the link to that episode below. I'll also add the links to their website and Instagram for you guys to take a look. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to the Mo Show podcast, episode 23. My guest tonight is a nature conservationist specializing in marine wildlife. As exotic as that sounds, I love it. He's from South Africa, aka Shark Country. Swims with them as well. He's been on Shark Week, Nat Geo, BBC, the Discovery Channel, to name a few. God, I'm going to enjoy this episode tonight. Please welcome Mr. Dickie Chivell.
What's up, Mo?
Hey,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. That was a cool intro.
You like it? You like it? It's one of my better ones. Thanks for taking the time, Dickie, and welcome to Saudi, man. How have you been?
Oh, I've been very, very great, bro. Spending time in your country has been such a treat. Yeah.
How long have you been in Saudi for?
Well, this is my third time back now, but I've been here this time around just over a month, about 6 weeks, so almost a month and a half, and spent most of that time out on your beautiful Red Sea, so no complaints here. It's incredibly different from what I could ever have expected, and it's such a pleasant surprise.
Amazing. So you come here, you're really involved in the marine life in the Red Sea. Are you part of any are you invited by any local companies or organizations, or like what exactly do you do when you come here? What's the day job look like?
Okay, so well, day job wise is most of the time to this point has been spent on sea. And to answer your question, back in South Africa, my father is the founder and CEO of the world's best shark cage diving company, but we also do a lot of marine conservation, not just marine, but conservation work in general. We have a penguin sanctuary, and we influence decisions on government level when it comes to conservation strategies. So what I'm doing in Saudi is incredibly exciting. Our team from Marine Dynamics have partnered up with an amazing startup here in Saudi Arabia called 1760. And we're going to be taking this new challenge by storm, hopefully. When it comes to, not even hopefully, we will, when it comes to the conservation of your beautiful wildlife in the Red Sea, and really setting a standard and setting a precedent of how to do sustainable ecotourism along the Saudi Arabian coastline.
Amazing.
So it's an incredibly exciting project, encapsulating so much, not only just the pillars of which being conservation, sustainability, and also job creation, as well as restoration. So we have at our disposal the best and brightest minds in the world in their respective fields that we're implementing to do work on your coastline. And a healthy ocean is a healthy country, not in so many ways, but we can get to that later. But not only when it comes to preservation, but also restoration of the beautiful place that is the Red Sea. I mean,
when you say restoration, my mind automatically goes to cars out of my love for cars. But what does ocean or sea restoration mean exactly?
So if I can explain it to you this way, a lot of the people, obviously, starting the projects that we've started now, allocating places that we can do things like shark cage diving, adventure tourism, because it's one of the things that we're definitely focused on is adventure tourism, which Saudi has an incredibly big market for. Or not yet. The market is actually creating itself as this is going on.
It's infancy.
Yeah, it's in its infancy, but it will definitely grow. And when we were doing our initial research, speaking to a bunch of the old local fishermen in the area, a couple of people that have been studying the area for many years, all of them told us that you should have been here 30 years ago, you should have been here 20 years ago. It was incredible, the stuff that you would have seen. What I mean by restoration, I've seen this happen in various places in the world because I've been lucky enough to be part of projects around the world. And if you change a few small things around a certain area, you'll start to see things that used to be there come back. Like, for instance, during COVID time now, you've seen possibly a lot on social media of, while the world was standing still, animals returning. Returning, like them seeing in the canals in Venice. That one really hit the world hard. So implementing a couple of strategies that will benefit not only, I think it's a win-win-win. So implementing a couple of conservation strategies along your coastline that not only benefit the environment, it benefits the people of Saudi Arabia, because if you have a healthy ocean with a product that people want to come see, your country is thriving, because now every person that's stepping in here to see this is spending money at a petrol station, at a coffee shop, just to name a few. So it's bringing money into your country, and then also your country is benefiting because people are like, look at Saudi, look at what they're doing right, look at what they're doing better. And what I mean by the restoration is implementing those small strategies, hopefully getting animals that haven't been seen here for 10, 20 years starting to come back. And you will see that.
Feeling safe to come back almost.
And you will see that over an amount of time. Obviously, everything takes time, but you have to start somewhere.
Amazing. What puzzles me about what you're saying about how in awe you are of our coastline, and don't get me wrong, I mean it is gorgeous, absolutely. But you don't come from a landlocked country. You come from South Africa, where the Atlantic meets the Indian Ocean. So you're no stranger to beautiful coastline and scenery and waters, etc. But you talk about the Red Sea like something you've never seen before. How high up the chain of, or up the beauty chain, let's say, is it globally compared to some of the other corals, Maldives or the Great Barrier Reef, is the Red Sea? Is it close to that number one spot in terms of beauty?
I could definitely tell you, yes, it is. And I've been now in the past few months that I've been lucky enough to dive in many places in the world, and a few times I've had to pinch myself.
Wow.
In the Red Sea, just off Jeddah, not even talking about Leaf or Yanbar, which is all just remote. Close, just close to here still, relatively. I've had to pinch myself, and I'm like, there is no way that I'm seeing what I'm seeing right now.
Really,
it is really, you guys have some incredible spots with incredible wildlife. I mean, we've identified several species of dolphins, some of them that I never thought I would even see here.
So it's not just one species of dolphins?
No.
I thought it was always,
no.
I'm so ignorant.
We saw 4 different species of dolphins in a single day.
How many species are there out there of dolphins?
I'm not sure in the world.
But dozens. But I mean,
yeah, there's quite a few.
You saw at least 4 different species of dolphins in the Red Sea.
It's
wow.
Yeah, even which. My biggest surprise when it comes to the dolphin was we saw a humpback dolphin, and it's a coastal species of dolphin, and we found it close to a harbor. I'll tell you about this story on another occasion, but it was very, very interesting to see that. I wasn't expecting that. But back to how amazing your ocean and your coastline is. apart from me having to pinch myself, is the excitement of the unexplored that is the Saudi Red Sea.
Wow.
Because obviously it's been explored, but so much still needs to be documented, and there's so much data to be taken, and there's so much potential, not only just for the viewing of the animals, but the conservation and the studies that can be done, because this area is so much to explore and so much to still do, that the excitement of this whole project is really blowing me away. It's just, we're discovering things at a miraculous basis. Every day we go out, we've seen something new that I just didn't think we were going to see here, or some of the places that we've been finding just mind blowing.
You know how I compute it? It's like a treasure chest that has never been opened.
Boom.
And we just found the key, and we're like, look what we have here, you know. And it's never, and that's what tourism. That's where tourism comes in, because for the longest time, tourism never really existed in Saudi, but now it's so simple to get a visa. And it's like, come check out what, I mean, for example, I've been to 5 or 6 different cities in Saudi in the last year and a half, thanks to Corona, because of it. And I explored my own country because of it. And I was like, my God, we have some really beautiful sights here, you know? And I felt almost stupid for always getting on a plane to go on holiday when I was completely untold about the beauty that we have here on a local level. And just to hear it coming from you as well, it just reaffirms and makes me realize that we really have so much to see over here. Farasan Islands, for example,
wow,
is a place that people just cannot stop talking about right now. That's the next place on my list.
You should definitely go, because
check that place out.
Friends of mine went there recently and they came back mind blown.
Yeah.
And exactly what you said about now Saudis exploring Saudi on a level that they never have. I've been lucky enough to make certain trips with some young Saudis that are obviously currently stuck here because of Corona, and to them, they're exploring parts of their country that they never have before, and they're seeing how beautiful their country actually is. And this is largely how we at 1760 will facilitate not only a standard of conservation around the Saudi Arabian coastline, but also setting a new standard for sustainable adventure tourism as well. So incorporating the conservation along with the research, and then incorporating that to synergize with being, hopefully, or inshallah, as you guys say,
you're at the right place at the right time.
The world, I want to say, the word that I'm looking for is, and that one of the adventure capitals of the entire world.
Could be,
100%. 100% it could be. You guys not only have the oceans, you've got beautiful, it starts at the ocean and then it moves on to a beautiful landscape. I mean,
mountains,
and
desert,
history, such cultural and rich history that your country has. I've been blown away.
I'm really glad that you're acknowledging and appreciating it. Honestly, it means a lot. I want to know about you. When did you first get into sharks? It's something that terrifies a lot of us, and I'm on the top of that list. I've had dreams of sharks, all right, chasing me, and I'm always so much slower than them. When did you get into, wanting to explore the ocean and, swim with sharks and all of that? What triggered it for you?
I have to say, this is not an over exaggeration. I've been incredibly privileged growing up around the ocean. I could literally swim before I could walk. This was one of my dad's things. He wanted to make me swim before I could walk, so because I'll always be around water. And he used to be an avid spear fisherman. So before I could remember, when I was 4 years old, I'd go diving with him. Hold onto his back, and when he keeps going, if I'm out of air, I just swim up to the surface. So my love and fascination for nature and animals, and we lived on a farm, so we'd always have animals coming in and out. So I've always grown up with this fascination. But when it comes to sharks, I remember one day we were spearfishing for dinner around one of our local dive sites in the area.
Cape Town?
close to Cape Town, about two hours away from Cape Town, a little town called Gansbaai, which is also the great white shark capital of the world.
My goodness.
And while we were spearfishing, I remember we had a small boat like this at a time, and this mega, like massive great white just slowly cruised and circled our little boat that day. And I will never forget this vivid image of this, because at that time also, when you're young, you're thinking shark, like, and it just blew my mind from that second how gentle that shark was. It literally just came, circled us, and it was so calm and so peaceful, and this leviathan just cruised off. And ever since then, I developed an incredible fascination with these animals.
Fin and all? You saw the fin?
Yeah, fin, like massive shark, like bigger than our boat, circling our boat. You could see the whole...
And the fin is a reference to the scale of the damn thing, isn't it? Like you can tell if it's a big boy or not
yes.
by the size of the fin. And that was your first encounter with a great white?
That was, the first encounter that I could remember.
Okay, and it left you guys.
And yes, it just cruised off, continued doing its thing, circling our coastline.
And it could have done some damage if it wanted to.
Well, that's the thing. Like, yes, if it wanted to, and that's largely something that I think we should touch on this podcast, is if sharks were what the media often portrays them to be, firstly, I wouldn't be here, but we'd have so many fatalities on a yearly basis. If sharks wanted to eat people, nobody would ever go into the water. We're incredibly lucky that they don't want to eat people, and it actually speaks as a testament for them, because you get different type of shark encounters, and I've seen it again here now. It just refreshed my memory. But you get positive and neutral shark encounters, and a lot of the time the sharks are always there and people just never notice them. I was doing a dive on one of our bravs here while looking for sharks off Jeddah the other day, and looking at our footage later, it took me over a half an hour of the shark actually being in the area before I saw it. You can clearly see on the brav video that I'm not seeing the shark, but you can see it behind me. So you get, these sharks are literally, they go unnoticed so many times, and that I would see as either a positive shark encounter if you get to see the shark, but a neutral shark encounter if you don't even see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was there, but you'd never end up seeing it.
Would you say that they're misunderstood?
Incredibly misunderstood creatures. And once you see them, you'll see exactly what I mean.
Wow. So it probably didn't take you much to want to go cageless for the first time. How was your first experience swimming, skin to skin with a shark? How old were you, first of all, Dickie?
I was 16, 17.
Wow.
Yeah. So firstly, I'll get to that in a second. But my first cageless experience was literally just a curious white shark checking me out underwater, and it came and it swam up right close to me, and
there you are, a sitting duck.
Yeah. And I thought I would feel fear, but I never ended up, that part skipped me. It was so,
wow.
I had so much, there was nothing else existing for this period of time while that shark was around me, and I thought I'd have all these feelings of fear and everything, but the shark's energy demanded just that I'm calm. And it was such a cool experience just to be calm in this mental chaos of, wow, there's a really big shark circling me right now. And getting back to your other question of when do sharks take a nibble?
Yeah.
We call it a shark accident instead of a shark attack, because 99% of the time, you can't say 100, but 99% of the time it is a mistaken identity.
Thinking it's a seal?
Not necessarily just a seal, thinking it's something. The sharks can sense electromagnetic. They know you're there, but most attacks or accidents happen, most of them, in surfing environments as well. Surfing, swimming, beaches. So the shark's already there, And a lot of the time there's waves and sand getting kicked up. So it can sense that you're there, but it can't see you. So it can sense you, but it can't see you. And it doesn't have hands. It can't feel what you are. So it does what we call a test bite. So it bites you, and that's why most people will survive a shark encounter like that. Because the shark will bite you, it'll swim off, and then you're left with obviously the wound. It's very, very rare that a shark bites you and like
finishes you off.
It has happened, but generally it doesn't happen. But also, if you think about it, bro, how big is this table? It's small.
Yep.
This is a small shark. You get sharks that's basically as long as this room that we're in right now.
5 meters?
Yeah, 5-6 meters. I've seen 5-6 meter sharks. Incredible. But if they, unfortunately, but it's highly unlikely that a 5-meter shark's just gonna come up and bite you. But if they take a nibble from you, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? Even if they just do a test bite, their test bite is basically the size of your body, unfortunately. Most times, it is unfortunately a mistaken identity.
Okay. Hollywood has portrayed the great whites to be the devil of the sea. Are those what we need to be afraid of? But as far as sharks are concerned, are those the predators that we need to be wary of the most, or is there a more dangerous shark out there than the great whites?
I would definitely say, to an extent, a lot of sharks are dangerous. You know what I mean? They choose not to be, but they have the potential. They have the potential to be. Me personally, I would say if you're going to choose a shark to be afraid of a bull shark. Not in crystal clear water. A lot of shark incidents happen in murky and dirty water, and I would never recommend anybody just jumping into the water with sharks. We are trained professionals after all. We read shark behavior. We take not only visibility but time of day, everything like that we take into account, and then we take a calculated risk, and we make a decision based on our knowledge. But in the waters of South Africa's eastern coast, there are a lot of attacks from bull sharks. For sure. I mean,
those are the worst,
there's places there that I would not surf or into the water. And I mean, I'm a trained professional. So as far as sharks go, I would definitely say the bull shark is, and Jaws, you know, the movie Jaws that caused this incredible shark panic all over
in my mind right now. Jaws.
It was based on a bull shark, not on a great white.
Not a great white?
Not a great white. And then they turned it.
They gave a great white a bad reputation.
Yeah, exactly. Shame, dude.
Poor Jaws.
Shame.
How big is a tooth? Like one of the front teeth of Jaws or great whites? Are they as big as an open fist?
You do get the Megalodon teeth that are this big, which is a prehistoric shark. It was like the grandfather.
I wanted to get to that. I wanted to know how much truth behind that. We'll get to that in a sec.
But this big is the biggest white shark tooth that I've seen.
I think, okay.
Yeah, like this big, which is still massive.
Absolutely.
It's still
it's ridiculous. And is it true that if they lose it, they just reproduce, like another one comes out?
They've got these. It's so cool.
I mean,
the great whites have got these rows of teeth.
Steamroller, you know?
Yeah, and they just
in case, you know, they'll never have to see a dentist. One comes out and then...
Yeah, they have these. And you know where I found a lot of shark teeth before was actually on an island. We've got a seal colony called Giza Rock at Dyer Island in South Africa, and there we have the world famous Shark Alley, which is like the world's McDonald's drive-through for the great white sharks. They just cruise through and pick a seal off if they want. And a lot of the time there are seals entangled on that island, so myself and my team will go on, disentangle the seals, because it's horrible to see them suffer. Like, you know, entanglements are it's a horrible way to go. But there on that island I see a lot of shark teeth of seals that actually obviously got bitten, climbed out onto this rock,
and the still embedded in them.
The seal is long gone. It died and it's no longer there, but the teeth still remain. So that you've got this rock with like just scattered shark teeth everywhere.
Have you ever been bitten?
No, I have not been bitten by a living shark. by a living shark. I've been bitten by a dead shark before.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
You can get bitten by a dead shark? How did that happen? Oh God. Stitches?
No, I don't, but I'm South African and
You just life goes on.
Life had to go on.
How'd you get bitten by a dead shark?
We were a great white shark washed up in Gansbaai, the town where I'm at, and our team responded quickly, and the shark was still alive when we got there, but it was washed out. So myself and a couple of members of our team from Marine Dynamics tried to revive the shark, or tried to get it to just have water through the gills. So I stuck my hand into its gills and into its mouth to try and pull the shark so that we can get water flowing back through its gills. Unfortunately, the shark passed away, but before he passed away, as I stuck my hand through its gills into its mouth, its jaw just closed, and it's just when
it was luckily it was a scrape and nothing more.
It wasn't like a full on. If it actually closed down, I don't think I'd be lucky enough to be sitting here with this. But that was obviously and also a question that I do get a lot is aren't you afraid or that the shark's gonna come for you? And my answer will always be is that I put myself, when filming, etc., you put yourself in that situation, especially if you're attracting sharks into a baited environment. So even if something ended up happening to me, you put yourself in that situation. If you're going to play with fire, like chances are you could get burned. Yeah. You know what I mean? We do sometimes bait these animals in order to get certain shots and then dive with them. It's different just attracting sharks and filming them, but then introducing yourself into that element, things could potentially go wrong. But I always try and tell people, like, we put ourselves in that situation. If anything were to go wrong, it's because of us. It's not because of the animals.
We're the problem. So what advice do you have for me if I'm in the water and my biggest fear in life is realized and I'm faced with a shark? What do I do? And he sees me.
And he sees you. Say hi.
Move, don't move, swim, go towards. I've heard punch in the nose.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna break down a couple of things that you can do and should not do, etc. But it's important to know that at the end of the day, and this is once again where the sharks are so amazing, if a shark wants to eat you, it will eat you. You're not swimming away from a shark. You're not punching it in the nose. You're not doing any of that. But luckily for you, they don't want to eat you, but they will approach you because they're curious animals. I will prepare a clip for you that I'll send to you at some point, and it's actually a video that I made explaining or showing diving with sharks and exactly how it works. Oftentimes a shark might be a bit more curious and come up to me. If it does that, I would literally swim towards it. Oh wow! Okay. You know what I mean? I would make that face off, like
that's
and
what
it
to
will
do.
Turn almost play chicken with it.
Like with the bear, apparently you're told to get as big as you can with the bear and shout and
rather than running. But in that video, I'll also show you as soon as you swim away, the shark follows you. Like as soon as you swim faster, to act as prey is to be seen as prey. So if you're going to act as prey, there is a video that I have of swimming towards the boat quickly, and the sharks just all follow you. It doesn't mean that they're going to come to you, but you're piquing their interest because you're moving fast in a different. So definitely slow movements, stay calm, always keep eye contact, never turn around. Like don't turn around and back paddle towards your boat. Chances are the shark will come close, it'll just circle you. It's very unlikely that a shark will attack you. If it does come too close, always you can use your palm and just push it away. It'll swim away. Oftentimes you'll see on videos, people just pushing sharks away by the head.
Okay.
And then you can just keep doing that until you get either to the beach or the boat back against the reef. And then you just fin outwards.
Get out, I've heard a stat that the ocean is 90% undiscovered. All right. Now, I don't know if it's that, if that's true or not. I mean, how much do you know is undiscovered if you haven't discovered it? But anyway,
I like the way you think, bro.
Let's say it's whatever, 70, 80%. What's the most thing out there that you have seen that we should, be aware of when or like just, on guard of? If it's certainly not sharks for you, what's the craziest thing out there that we should fear or be aware of?
Humans. Humans, definitely.
Good answer. Yeah. That's the.
If you should fear anything, it's humans and the impact that we have on this planet. I would say nothing that lives in the sea more dangerous. I would say if you're looking for dangerous things in the sea, a box jellyfish is way up there. The ones that they have in Australia, those incredibly poor. So them definitely. As for wildlife,
stingrays,
no, not really. It was incredibly unfortunate thing that happened to Steve Irwin. I mean, I was lucky enough to meet him. He was an amazing guy. He actually came shark cage diving with us.
No way. Wow.
Yeah. That was an incredibly unfortunate thing. But stingrays, I've dived with incredible stingrays in Saudi Arabia.
Are they?
Boom. You guys not only have stingrays, you have manta rays, you have whale sharks. Like, you guys have amazing things.
These guys, they sting, don't they? I mean, it's in their name. They sting. And isn't it fatal when they do?
Well, if you get stung through the heart, if anything stabbed you through the heart, I've been stung by a small stingray before that I stepped on, and it was literally one of the most painful things that I've ever experienced in my life. So you won't necessarily die, but you'll wish you died just to get the pain over with. It was truly. So if there's a lot of stingrays, do the stingray shuffle. Okay. Where you just walk like this, so that you don't.
I've heard that before. Until you step on a sea urchin, and there goes the shuffle.
Stingrays are not malicious animals at all, and oftentimes. Not only stingrays, but sharks also, they'll avoid you.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. I've been in a few frustrating situations where I'm trying to swim with the shark, but it doesn't want to swim with me back. The more wildlife is thriving, the more people you're getting. Absolutely. And it's a win-win. Yeah. Win-win-win.
Yeah, not everyone recognizes that. Where I think we need a lot of improvement is in campsites. We have a plastic problem. When you go out into the wild, and I have done a lot of exploring of Saudi due to Corona, you should only leave your footprints when you're out at desert.
100%.
But unfortunately, what I'm seeing is a lot more than just footprints. There's plastic everywhere. And it's something that I wish as a culture and a country we can, be a bit more mindful of. That when we're done camping, we pick up our plastics and take it to a place now where we can recycle it, because it's such an ugly sight to see water bottles and stuff that's just going to be there for 80 years if you don't pick it up. So I think that we should really just, follow the footsteps of what the leaders are doing, the municipalities and so forth. They're showing us the way, and it's up to us to actually follow suit. You're 100% right. Plastic, not only just in Saudi, in the whole world, is an incredibly big problem. There's plastic. They found plastic on the bottom of the Marianas Trench. And we as a human being should be ashamed of that. Deepest point in the ocean.
11 kilometers down. There's on plastic. The deepest part of the entire ocean. Wow. There's plastic. It's
shameful.
It's shameful.
Earlier, you touched on Megalodons. Megalodons. So I saw, again, everything goes back to Hollywood and movies. I saw the Meg, and you have these, God knows how big they are, prehistoric sharks. True?
Up to 18 meters in length now, I think. I think
was that one of the bigger ones?
18 meters they could get, the Megalodons, yeah.
But how long have they been out of existence for?
Couple of million years.
Yeah. They're one of the oldest species. I mean, they're like them and the dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, well, sharks generally, great whites as well. Like, they're they've come for millions and millions. They are part of the dinosaur era.
Oh, are they?
I
Okay,
mean,
wow,
yes,
wow, wow.
great white sharks have not had to change for millions of years.
Yeah.
They are perfect predators. Incredibly well adapted, and they're getting less, bro.
Perfect for you.
Yeah, perfect for me for sure.
My God, you are quite a
but
character.
the megalodons, the only thing, because sharks are cartilaginous, I struggle with that word.
What does that mean?
They don't have bone; they're cartilage. That's why, unless you have something stuck in permafrost or something super fast, that the only thing that remains of them is their teeth.
Yeah.
You never see shark skeletons lying
No
around
bones, huh?
because they're cartilaginous
Crazy.
fish. Yeah.
What have you yet to achieve in the world of the ocean and marine life and all that? Is there anything that you haven't done yet that you want to do?
It never stops.
Done it all?
um,
Blue whale? You've rubbed shoulders with a blue whale? Not that they have
I've
shoulders.
seen them. Would love to dive with the blue whale still. I've never dived with the blue whale. I've dived with whales. Scariest thing of my life is diving with whales.
Really? The big
they
boys.
They make you feel so insignificant, and they're not malicious at all. It's just their sheer size. It makes you feel this big.
Yeah.
It's incredible diving with whales as well. But when it comes to things that I'm taking it step for step, but at the moment I've got a few documentaries to shoot, mainly based on great whites. But then coming back to Saudi, and at the moment there's so much that I want to do because I truly believe in your coastline. And as I said, I'm incredibly privileged to be a part of such an incredible team here, and we're allowed to explore everything along your coastline. So that is what's up next for me. And so there's a lot I haven't done.
Coast Guard doesn't bother you? What are you guys doing here? Permit?
No, we have you're
good to go.
permits for everything.
These guys are strict.
But we're working along with them. You know what I mean?
That's
So it's amazing to be enabled to do that. I feel humbled in order to be asked to do something like this.
Appreciate you saying all of that, by the way, the compliments you're giving our country, the support that they've shown you here on the ground. But you're here for a good cause, so you know what, I hope everyone is supporting you on on every corner.
The Saudi Arabian people are amazing. It's one thing that I have to say, like the hospitality, the people that I've met here, incredible.
The goat, have you had any goat? Goat on rice?
No, not
Mandi,
yet.
You haven't?
Not yet.
You haven't had like our traditional goat over rice?
I've been working very, very hard.
I
I pride myself on being the hardest worker in the room.
You're not a vegetarian, right? You eat meat?
No, I eat.
I'm taking you out for a meal.
Okay.
It'll
awesome.
change your religious beliefs.
Goat? I've been wanting to eat goat for so long. Like I've been wanting to try it.
How's he not taking you?
I don't know. He's taking me to eat everywhere. We've eaten everything everywhere except goat.
اللحم المندي المدفون وين؟
What? Did I eat goat? Yeah. At which point?
You're forgiven for having to for having.
That was sheep, wasn't it? It was sheep. It wasn't goat.
My bad.
You probably passed out after it and you forgot about it, which you're forgiven for. It does that to you.
Oh, really? Does it make you sleepy?
But but the hospitality, we do it quite well, if I may say so.
Oh, I've eaten amazing things here, though. The other day we went up to Taif, which is how mind blowing. Have you been?
Of course, I have. When I want some good weather, I go up there.
It was mind blowing. Yes, it was so lovely.
Yeah.
And some of our friends that I met with him, we made the traditional hole in the ground and then made a fire in there and then put sheep in there and covered it up for a few hours. It was one of the best meals that I've ever had in my life. It was the meat was so soft after a few hours. It was incredible.
Type of cooking where it's buried for a few hours and then it's just meat that is tender that you've probably never had anything like in your life. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was. It
okay,
was
good.
amazing.
Now I'm more at ease that you've seen that part of Saudi, the delicacy end of it. Yeah. So I'm glad that you've experienced it firsthand. Is there anything that we missed out? Something that you want to Something you want to discuss or say before we close?
No, I think we covered most of what I came here to say.
And if you forgot anything, then when you're back, we'll
yeah.
do it again.
I'm a bit nervous still. Like I usually don't get nervous, but obviously
nervous
I'm in
here,
Saudi Arabia.
but not when swimming with great white sharks, huh?
No, that
I'm quite the opposite.
I compartmentalize fear. I'm nervous in front of people. Not really. I'm not nervous in front of sharks.
God, it's quite the opposite with me.
But I want to truly thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and speak to you. It's really been great, and for people listening and stuff, like, you guys are Saudis, you guys are amazing.
Thanks,
I've truly been treated with utmost respect ever since myself has arrived here, and I've been lucky enough to meet incredible people while I've been here. And as I said, I have faith in your country. Inshallah, we will.
I appreciate that, Dickie. Thanks so much, man. I just love your story, man. It's so unique. Everyone cares about, what you do. Everyone cares about the ocean to some degree. Everyone is intimidated by sharks. And I think people will really enjoy listening to this episode, because we want to know more about it, and no better to know more about it than a pro like you. You're a pro in the water, and you're a pro here, and I love your stories, and again, like, what you stand for and what you're here for. So we really do appreciate everything that you're doing for our country. And again, man, thanks a lot for coming on the show, and gonna get you back here on soon. Next time,
awesome.
Next time you're back in town.
Thank you very much.
All right, brother. Thanks so much for coming through.
Thank you
Take
very
care,
much.
Dickie. Thanks, man.
Cheers.
And as a thank you from our friends over at Dokkan Afkar, they've very generously given us a 10% discount for us to use on their app that you can see right now. When you get to the checkout counter, just enter MoShow. Offer expires on June 8th, which is in 2 months from today.